Hey guys, Man here for another late night deck profile, and as you can see from the title, this is my first place winning Royal Knights deck. This deck has been a long time coming. I've been working on this deck since the new set came out a few weeks ago, and I just could not essentially get this deck to work properly, to go as fast as it's supposed to go. But recently I managed to finally figure out the spice or the formula to this deck, and that is basically focus on the red-black um, Digimon basically. All of the Digimon that are red or black colored, those are literally the best ones. The only one we are not running in this build is Genku, but you focus on like Jessmon, Gallantmon, the Lord Knightmon for blocking, the GX, the Oryuken, and then of course you run the Omnis. Omni X is literally the card in this deck that gets you wins, because the fact that you can reduce its cost and its on play always bounces something, and you get to raid into something. And usually most Digimon, even after progressing into a giant like level 7, there's still about 16, maybe 15, so you can boost over it, or not even boost over it, you can literally just swing over it and then use an option to prevent the deletion of your guy basically. But aside from that, not like the deck performed insanely well today. I played against round one. I played against Rapidmon. Then round two, I played Alpha, or you can, but with using the old style of the deck, and it was very close. Or you can was really clutch against them, especially game one. Game two, I lost, but game three, I came back and got it, so I got that round at 2-1, which was not too bad. And then the final round was against Sakuyamon. I pretty much countered that deck completely, honestly, because I just had so much removal the whole time that they literally could not keep a board. I think the only thing that was keeping them afloat was the scrambles. And yeah, no, it was basically the scrambles keeping them alive. It was crazy. Like, that match went on for a while, but it was a really good one. Shout out to my friend Jose who's playing Sakuya. That deck is really scary, and I don't like dealing with it. Even though Royal Knights has a good matchup against it, it's just I don't like leaving aces out on the board when I'm playing against it. Against Alpha, it's a little bit different, but at the same time, you have more protection, so it's not as bad. But they can check like all your security in one go, so you got to be really careful. Against Red Purple Imperial, we do have Tex against it specifically, but I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, let's actually get into deck profiles so I can actually show you what I'm talking about. So of course, this being a Royal Knight deck, we run, of course, the 4 King Draw cells. I am in the process of getting 2 more AAs, so once I get those, I will be upgrading these. But for now, there'll be 2 regulars and 2 AAs, which is fine. This card is just so busted. The fact that it gets you that reduction is so strong, and you just keep going off because of it. So yeah, we have to run 4. For level 3s, we only run 3, and that is the 2 Pomumon. As I mentioned, this is specifically to deal with Red Purple Imperial or any deck that likes to play Digimon by effect, so it does hard counter Bloom. It also hard counters this weird X Antibody Toolbox deck that one of the people at my locals plays, so pretty good, but just stopping Digimon on play effects is just really strong. But yeah, no, Pomumon is really crucial against decks that basically just play by effects. So this is having this at 2 is really good. And of course, the cool thing is that Lord Knightmon can play any level 4 or lower regardless of color. So it can play back Pomu to set up for next turn, which can stall them even more. Then, of course, the last level 6 we run is just 1 Sistermon. I might be bumping this back up to 2, but I don't know how I'm going to fit it in. Mainly, I just use it as a blocker, but mainly it's the draw 1 and it becomes a blocker if you have a Ronet, which is basically all the time. So I really like the Sistermon. I know a lot of people don't run more than 1, but I really did like this one because it just works. But yeah, that's all the level 3s. For level 4s, we, of course, this being the new Royal Knight deck, we run 3 copies of the old Omekamon, because on play draw 1 and on deletion he gets you a Royal Knight into your stack in raising, so pretty solid. You have to run at least 3. I know some builds are running 2, but 3 I feel is better because that way you get more draws. Then we run 4 of the new Omekamon from BT20. This guy's really clutch. For those that don't know what it does, on play it basically evolves into an Omni X for free, and it counts as the X antibody underneath him, and it helps you do his whole effect. And then its on deletion is that when it were to die or leave the field, basically, or specifically on deletion, you get to tuck it underneath the source. Oh yeah, shout out to my friend Steven who plays with me. He was the judge and he traded me this judge pack one. I really thank you for this. This card is really cool. I love the judge logo on it. But yeah, Omeka is really cool, and not only that, whenever a security is removed, once the first check goes through, he comes out by tapping Yggdrasil. So you get to go, oh cool, I have another blocker. He dies. Okay, he goes back in, and you do it again next turn. So if you have Sistermon and this on the field, you have 2 blockers. So it's really cool. I just love how the new Omekamon works. Then of course, for the Royal Knight level 4, we are of course running 3 Magnamons. I know some people are like, oh, why aren't you running more? This guy's only a 2 cost play on turn 1. I mean, he's good, but like usually I like to play like a Sistermon or play out an Omeka or play out one of the option cards. But he is a really good starter. The only downside is just the fact that he just doesn't really stay on the board that often sometimes, especially when your opponent has a lot of removal like you do. So I opted to run 3 because that way I can make room for other things. And that's basically all for the level 4s. We don't really run any level 5 aces or anything level 5 in general. So let's just go on to level 6s. So for the first level 6 we run the Jesmon. Jesmon, originally, I only had him at like 1 or 2, but he is literally one of the best new Royal Knights because on play, he summons a token and then he pops something 8,000 DP or less. Most of the time on turn 2, your opponent is just setting up into a level 5. So this will always kill it. And you get a free token that has both that has reboot, blocker, and decoy. So really strong against certain decks. And of course, the fact that he's pretty chunky too, so it kind of takes a bit of time for them to basically kill this. So pretty cool. Then we, of course, run 2 Gallants, because Gallant is still the GOAT. The fact that he can reduce his cost for every 2 if it's the only Digimon. And, of course, he deletes something 6,000 DP or less. And when attacking, he can delete something 6,000 or 13,000. He can also do the 13,000, but only if you don't delete by the 6,000. It's both his on-play, when Digivolving, and when attacking are basically the exact same. So, really cool. And they're not once per turn, so you can hard play it and it has rush, so then swing again, and then you pop something bigger too. But yeah, you have to run at least 2. I was planning to run 3, but I think 2 is pretty solid, so you don't brick into it. Then, of course, this being Royal Knights, it needs at least 2 Medieval Gallants. Medieval Gallant can turn the game, but surprisingly, tonight I actually didn't even really need it. That's the weird part. I just got the second copy today as of this recording, and I literally never had to use them. All the other knights already did all the jobs for me, so he's only a really good like backup plan, but he's an amazing backup plan. So you got to run at least 1 or 2. I know most people only have 1. You can run it at 1. Honestly, I have drawn into this guy almost every game during that point, so 1 or 2 is fine. So if you can't afford a second one, it's all good. Just run 1. But if not, you can always run a third Gallant because Gallant is just so good. Both of these are just fire. Then that's basically all for the red level 6s. For the black level 6s, we run, of course, the Lord Nightmon. This guy, originally, a lot of builds I saw ran only maybe 2 or even just 1. I like this guy at 3 because there are a lot of blue decks at my locals, and because of that, I like having this to redirect their attack so they can't actually get through, which is really crucial. And of course, as I mentioned, on play when Digivolving, you may play 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost. It doesn't specify color or DP, so you can summon anything level 4 or lower. So basically anything from Magnamon back to the Pomumons can be summoned from him, which is really insane because you can summon back Sister to send a blocker, so then you have 2 blocks essentially. Or you can summon back the Omeka so that you can set it up for another block in the raising. So pretty strong. Then we run 1 Alphamon from BT13 because this is really crucial against certain decks that like to swing a lot with their level 6s, Red, Purple, Imperial specifically, so they can't technically blitz and evolve up. Then we have 1 Alphamon from the new one. This one is mainly there to deter them from swinging because the moment they swing and remove security, they get minus 8,000. And then, of course, on play, he gets a recovery +1. And, of course, if you manage to keep him on the field and then evolve or you can on top, you can basically wipe a board or wipe out a stack, and you get to have a protection thanks to this, which is really cool. And then that's basically all for the level 6s. We don't run that many level 6s, but they're the ones that are like really crucial and doing a lot of damage. For level 7s, we of course are running 3 or you can aces because this guy is just the GOAT right now. Like the fact that he can be played for such cheap cost with the reduction, and of course the fact that he does minus 15 until the end of their turn. So that means you can pass turn with this and then their stack dies. And of course, it just like the other Alphamon here, it deters your opponent from swinging because if they do, they give you 3 memory. So pretty shitty for them. Then we run 2 GXs. This guy is just pure removal, but at the same time, there is a combo you can do with Purge of the Royal Knights, where you can play him out, and his ability is on play when digivolving and when attacking once per turn. So basically, you swing, you equip a Royal Knight from the trash, and then you pop something 6 down in DP or less. So you're automatically guaranteed to kill almost any level 7 and lower with this thing, as long as they don't have protection. So really cool. That's basically all for the aces of the deck. Let me move these up so that... Oh yeah, speaking of which, the token that this Jesmon generates is basically... The official token is literally just this. It's just a faded version of Jesmon with no text except for the token text specifically. But yeah, for level 7s, we of course run 3 Omnis. You basically, if you see this, you kind of have to keep your hand because it's going to be the one that basically wins you the game or pops the deck. But at the same time, I've won without even going into him sometimes, so he's not absolutely needed, which is why he's at 3 currently. Then we run 4 of the new Omni X because Omni X just does so much damage. The fact that on play he gets to raid, piercing, and blocker and give himself rush so he can even do all that. And of course, he bottom decks something upon play. So really crazy. You have to run 4. This guy is your literal ace of the deck despite these other aces. He is the literal best Royal Knight in your deck. And if you manage to play him out and they can't get rid of him, he's just going to keep causing trouble no matter what. He is so strong. Okay, anyway. That's basically all for the Digimon. For options, we run 3 specific ones, but they're pretty self-explanatory. First, we run 4 of the Last Guardian. For the people that do not know, this has Royal Knight's trait, so Yggdrasil will basically reduce it no matter what. So once you get all the Yggdrasils out, this becomes a 1-cost option, and it protects Omni. So main once per turn, it searches the top 3, and you can add 1 Cool Boy and 1 Digimon with X Antibody or Royal Knight's traits, and then it goes into your battle area. And then anytime a Omnimon would leave the battle area, basically, or yeah, when any of your Digimon with Omnimon in their names would leave the battle area, delay, that Digimon doesn't leave. So you have 4 of it. And then in security, it lets you play out an Omeka or a Cool Boy from your hand or trash. So really strong card. You have to run 4 copies. You cannot skimp on this card. This is like one of your main searchers. Speaking of that, we also run 4 of the Royal Knights of the Purge, or Purge of the Royal Knights as it was originally called. This one is super stupid. Like in the last game against the Kuyamon, I actually drew all 4, and it made things so painful for my friend Jose. It was so bad. Basically draw 1, equip, and then you get to summon it back next turn with Rush. So really strong. You have to run 4 of this. Then we run 1 Queen device currently because people do run Floodgates like Psychmon, Chikurimon, and what was the other one? Solarmon. Yeah, Solarmon. So this will kill it, and then you can do your plays. The only deck that really has a way to recur it is Leviamon, but that's Purple Toolbox Engine, so that's a little bit different. Most decks can't really even fit the Floodgate in, so you're basically safe unless they personally tech against Royal Knights. Then for Tamers, we only run 1, and that's the Cool Boy. New Cool Boy is just jacked. He's too strong. He's like Analog Man, but even better. So for those that do not know, he's a 4-cost Tamer. Your turn when you play a Digimon with Royal Knight or you Digivolve into it, you gain 1 and draw 1. And then on your opponent's turn, if a Royal Knight were to leave the field, you get to play an Omegamon from your hand for free. So if you have one of these in hand, you basically get to play it for free, and you get benefits off of it. So really strong. This is a needed 4. You do not skimp on Cool Boy. I know some lists running only 3. They're crazy because Cool Boy is super crucial in this deck, and you need to see it as soon as possible to reduce the costs of these guys down. But yeah, that's basically the deck. As I mentioned, certain techs like the Pomumon are specifically for red-purple because there is a red-purple Imperial player. Shout out to my friend Steven who also gave me this card. He also plays red-purple Imperial. This actually is really crucial against them because if they can't get the Shadramon, this basically locks them down, so they basically can't do any of their plays. And then, as I mentioned, the Queen device is specifically for taking out floodgates, but you already run a lot of low cost stuff, so you don't really need to worry about that. And of course, just how the build works. As you can see, I'm focusing mainly on the red and black like aspect of it. I'm not running any of the blue, greens, or even the yellows because yeah, you could get more search with Dynasmon. You could get a source strip off it, but it's not aggressive enough to basically win you the game. It turns into just a slow control deck. This deck with how this with the spread currently is so aggressive that it can keep up with red and purple Imperial, which is insane. So I would highly recommend at least trying this version of it because it's efficient enough to get you the win. And that's what I'm trying to aim for whenever I build one of these decks. As usual, like as I said, this is a template that you can go off of and then modify it how you feel is best. Maybe your locals has more like Digimon that you have to source strip, so you run more Ulforce instead of Jess or whatever. Or maybe you want to spam more guys, so you play Leopardmon instead. Or you play out Crania, so you have a immune Digimon that can force them to attack, which is really nice. You could focus on the Alphamon so you can stop their level 6 plays. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to go with this deck because there's just so many knights currently. 13 knights, obviously. You could also even run the Examon, honestly, because we did get a new Examon Ace, so you could do it. But you would need blue-green to Jogress into him or hard playing him, so yeah. So you have a lot of ways to go about this deck, but this is just my version currently at it, and it's done well. It got me first place, so it's good so far. But yeah, anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.